We would like to welcome warmly to this event after one really exhausting but also exciting week of software development, business development, hardware programming and so on. We are really excited about what the teams have developed. We are lucky to have you guys here for the presentation and also supporting us, people from the outside coming here, seeing what we have developed. And we are really excited about showing what people have developed within 1 week. You will see what they have developed in terms of software, hardware, blockchain, and also business development. And it's really exciting what has happened within just 1 simple week. That we also as organizers have been very excited. My name is Philip. I'm working at the Frankfurt School of Finance. We founded a blockchain center there and also develop practical projects besides doing teaching in the area of blockchain, and also trying to build up a community in Frankfurt with events and other things. So we are trying to tackle this topic from a university perspective, because we also find it very important that young people need to know this technology, because blockchain, in my personal mind, will change nearly any industry out there. There are only a few industries like creative stuff, artworks, which might not be that much disrupted, only a little bit. So therefore, in my mind, it's very important to educate young people by theory, but also by practical stuff. That's why we have done this event. Maybe my co-organizers are also presenting themselves quickly. Daniel.
Hello, also from my side, my name is Daniel. I'm co-founder of Nexus Squared, a blockchain acceleration program. And it has been a great pleasure to work with you guys over this week, and all the best and good luck for your presentation.
My name is Andrzej. I'm from the Technical University of Munich, the blockchain research group, and also coordinate this event, and I'm really also looking forward to all the presentations. Thank you.
So I think this comment actually perfectly explains what we have done over this week. I think the success is actually really going through a lot of struggles, testing, experimenting, and what has been very clear over this week, that this whole enthusiasm which people brought here never changed.
Und Sergej, passt alles? Oder gab es Ärger?
Genau, also ich bleibe hier noch ein bisschen sitzen.
Ja, das ist cool.
Genau.
Super.
So what is actually our vision behind organizing events like that? We think that we need to empower blockchain enthusiasts to really transform their early stage ideas into prototypes. What we can do is actually to provide a great network and actually environment in order to do so. This was basically
Die kommt wegrennen. Ich nehm's dir ab.
Wieso?
Dann Restart.
Achso, ich bin gleich dran.
Achso, du redest noch
In einer Minute.
Into more events and hopefully circle around Germany, Europe, and maybe someday across the globe with that kind of platform for blockchain enthusiasts. So when we thought about what we actually want to achieve and offer you, we came up with a few principles which I think are basically basic human understanding on when you want to do things like that. So we wanted to create and foster an open learning and experience platform, and I think that has been great. People have been supporting each other. There was a lot of communication going on via Slack, and people asking questions, answers returned, and that I think was a great experience for everyone. We wanted to bring something back to the ecosystem. So myself and also Atlantic and Philip, we have been part of that ecosystem for quite a while now, and I think this whole system only works if you also give something back to the community and not only take and gain knowledge, but actually this whole ecosystem at some point in time has to circle and turn, and then everyone gets something out of it. What we really wanted to focus on is actually to gain the life experience rather than having theoretical talks. I have been to quite a few events where people stand up on the stage and they tell something somebody else already mentioned. So this was all about gaining experience and actually train and see how it works. High quality content and network. We had a few quite high profile presentations across the week, and I think we can still improve and hopefully attract more people to come in and share their experience. That's actually the last point, invite best in class people. But what it's really all about is actually that we wanted to stop talking and start experimenting and start doing, start trying, start learning. I think we are still in a phase where it's all about trial and error, and we all can gain a lot of experience out of events like that. So just a few facts and figures. We have been really overwhelmed by the number of applications. We were close to 300 We had close to 300 applications from across the globe, and thanks to I think quite a good format for the application, we really managed to get high quality attendees here to Frankfurt. So overall we had 84 participants, roughly around 60 IT developers, 20 business developers, and I think that was actually key to the success. That we had a mix of both, so that people can start prototyping, but at the same time think about a decent business model behind their ideas. What was quite fascinating was actually the background of people. So we really had people from India coming in, from the US, New Zealand, Spain. So it was a broad mix of various cultures, and I think that not only provides a lot of experience from various countries across the globe when it comes down to IoT or blockchain, but it's also great for the atmosphere. So if you have been part of the week, I think it was great seeing people sitting in the evening hours while drinking a beer and sharing their experience, and I think that on top is definitely special to an event like that. Overall we had more than roughly 25 presentations and workshops going on. Some of them have been mandatory, especially the introduction sessions on Monday. Others have been on a voluntary basis, and I think each presentation had or created value to the team. Some more to the business people, some more to the IT people, but I think it was a good mix. And at the end, 40 teams have been created on Monday. Great spirit, and therefore we are looking forward to have 14 prototypes being presented this evening. This all definitely needs some support, and I would like to hand over to Philip in order to give you a quick overview of who has been supporting that event.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, first of all, I would like to mention Commerzbank and Daimler, who supported these events. We all know that Commerzbank, especially as a bank, is quite advanced in Germany with regard to blockchain. They have, I think, 18 or 20 people working on this topic, which is really much, especially in Germany, because not all financial organizations emphasize this topic that much. Same with Daimler, they have multiple projects. In this event, we talked to the truck division, where a truck has been connected to the Ethereum blockchain to enable leasing contracts. So once the truck is not being paid for in the leasing contract, then the velocity of the truck is being slowed down entirely automatically, and this also allows business models of a new kind, because not everywhere you have legal systems like in Germany where you can ask the state to get in touch with a non-paying customer. So that's the business model or the thought behind, which is really nice to have smart contracts in place here. We have Digitales Hessen supporting us. That's let's call it subsidiary of the government, and they also supporting us, which is really good, because we all know that blockchain will be important, and therefore, because Frankfurt is the European center, the future European center of finance after the Brexit, therefore I would say that it's very important that Frankfurt and blockchain are like kind of getting connected, and that people in Frankfurt and here in this country are really tackling this technology. Daniel talked about Nexus Squared, I talked about Frankfurt School. We also have IOTA supporting us. It's a startup which is supporting us, which is not happening elsewhere. We talked with some consultancies which had difficulties, which budgets and so on, but in this case the startup supported us, which is really fascinating that a startup like this, okay, they have some money, we know this also, but it was good to have them supporting us with both technology and expertise to provide all the hardware. We have the Informatik Aktuell magazine in Germany. It's a very well-known magazine in the computer science area, which is supporting us as a media partner. And we have Ventum, which is a consulting company partly based in Munich and elsewhere, supporting us. They plan activities in the energy market of blockchain. And most important, I really need to emphasize this, most important, we have IOTA supporting us. That's a company you might not have heard of, but hopefully you will in the future, because they are dealing with the hardware of IoT to make the connection between physical chips, endpoints, and the software secure, such that you can trust the data and there is no fraud happening when transactions take place. And these guys did an amazing job with supporting us with all the hardware, thousands of sensors, diodes, Raspberry Pis, and all things I've myself not seen in my life, which they provided. They had a hardware shop there, which really worked nice. And by the way, that's also interesting, we had to order some more stuff on Amazon, so we ordered on Monday and Tuesday, and then this was basically the logistics hub where the teams could then also collect additional hardware stuff in case something was missing. One team bought a drone, which you will see later. Then some Raspberry Pis were burned, kind of, so we had to replace them. And thanks to Amazon, we were able to also do the replenishment for these shops. Yeah, we have the Tatkraft people here. That's this place. It's called Tatkraft. It's a so-called makerspace. There are 3D printers here. There are that's difficult. There are Schweißanlagen, I don't know the English word, over there, and all kind of material where people can drill products which you can touch, not just software. You can have a look around here. It's an amazing place for people wanting to craft things. That's called Drafthaft. This is entire hall. And finally, we also have the so-called blockchain education network. That's a network of universities supporting us. They helped us reaching the communities out there such that people actually knew about this event. Without the amazing participants here in the room, this event would also not have been possible. And here, of course, we also did a lot of PR ourselves, but the so-called blockchain education network also helped us a lot. So thank you all. Partly you are here, some of the supporters are not here, but in all, it would not have been possible without these organizations. Yeah. Why did we make basically a 5-day hackathon? Why did we choose to do it a 5-day hackathon? Because we wanted to have both software and hardware, which is tackling a hell lot of problems and components which need to be interconnected, and this all should be happened in 1 week. And therefore, for example, the standard format of a hackathon being 48 hours or 2 days is not sufficient, and we just have some information here what needs to be considered for producing IoT prototypes. You have, of course, the front-end development, the back-end development. We have the Ethereum blockchain to be connected. Some teams worked with the IOTA blockchain, which is good for IoT payments. Then we have one company operating with the status app and interface, which is not easy at this early stage. And of course, we have the IOTA software as a secure layer for transactions, which cannot be hacked, or fraud is not possible. So this is the software part. Then we have the hardware part, hundreds of sensors and dozens of actors. We have the Raspberry Pi board and the high keyboards. That's 2 different frameworks which need to be connected. And the business part should also not be forgotten. That's the business model itself, the product, the service, marketing. And we asked the teams to do a pitch presentation, a Medium article, and a one-pager. So this was really a lot of work for this week. In the beginning of the week on Monday, we started to first instruct people about what to do in the week. Then we made some brainstormings, showed our technology, showed the Raspberry Pis and how they could interact. Then we started a brainstorming, what could be possible, and also then did a team building session to really get started as soon as possible. So this was a very pressing first day to get people connected to each other, to form teams, because some person might want to be interested in energy, another is business interested, some people might be interested in mobility, others only can do IT. So you need to somehow mix this up such that nice teams are created. And this was really not easy, but I think we managed quite well, or the teams by mingling themselves did it quite well. That's the left hand part. Then we did a brainstorming and discussing what could be possible to really broaden our mind. What is IoT? It's going from drones to autonomous drivings to logistics and so on. This is the green and the yellow part. Then teams actually really started on Tuesday with implementation. We had still some lectures for showing IOTA, because this is an early stage technology which also needs to be taught first before you can use it. Then Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday were part of doing the prototypes and going a little bit further. And then today, that's the Friday, we had a test session this morning where we gave some very short feedback because time was so short, but it was, I think, good to have a trial run to maybe then polish specific things a little bit. So this was the entire week. That's now that's basically what you see here. That's how you can market it, and that's basically how the stressful part behind looks like, because we really need to plan it nicely, because we also wanted to give the teams enough time to work on the project. So therefore you cannot do just presentations all over. Yeah, that was basically the schedule which we invented. So some impressions what happened here during the last days. That could be you, but that was on Monday, starting here with the first sessions. That was Monday morning when everything was empty. Here you see basically the view outside here, where people sat outside and did programming. That's actually a nice job atmosphere. I would like to have working outside. Then here you see a team, how they work. You see computers, hardware stuff, and all kinds of material. That's, for example, one component which has been plugged together. I don't know what it is, but it worked and it blinked. You know, I take a photo because it blinked, but it's somewhere here. Then there's another device which that's now built into a specific machine, which you will see later on. This device down here. That's how blockchain looks like for those who might really see how it looks like. Then another hardware picture here. We had lectures coming here, for example, from Commerzbank, Daimler, Yotify. An attorney for blockchain and Bitcoin technologies who is dealing from a law perspective with this. We had people explaining ICOs. All happened here in this forum. Then teams continued with their development. You see here a team, for example, Eric comes from Venezuela, brilliant expert with regards to technology and coming from entirely different continents. Then you see here more teamwork, lots of boxes down here, sensors. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. We were very happy to be here in this place because there is lots of tooling here, such that with wood and stuff you could also create some kind of box or what other things which are possible or needed. So therefore we were happy to also have some tooling available. One team even used a 3D printer for something which I didn't know what it is, but we will see it later. We had some sketches here for planning to coordinate teams and to also actually coordinate the technical part with the business part, because as we all know, it's sometimes not easy to reconcile all these information. Yeah, that's how we organized eating. That happened outside, partly in the lunch time and also in the dinner. And now I would like to quickly hand over to our first short presentation held by Jasmin Skenderay from Equotify, who supported us with all the technology. And you have been sitting in Berlin, but Martin, which you hopefully present quickly, Martin and Juan did the consulting part here, which was really amazing.